Alright, so I'm doing another 65mm build, and I showed that last one that I did. I think it was for Doug. Yeah, it was Doug's toothpick, and I used the 12 amp Whoop FC. Actually, it was this one right here. And I was using the Hyperlight 1103s, which have motor plugs. And it'd be nice if there was more options besides those with those plugs and that length of motor wire, because it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect for this kind of build, and it's just so easy to plug them in, you know. Some people like to direct solder, some people like the plugs. I'm sure people that are newer to the hobby would prefer a plug, because it's not easy to solder these. And let me grab a Crazy Bee board actually, because I want to show you a comparison. Now, I have direct soldered to these pads before. These are the tiniest pads that you can get on a board, or solder to anyway. This is a Crazy Bee F4 V2 right here, okay? These are the motor pads right here, and they're just insanely tiny, but not impossible to solder to. Like I said, I've done it. It's not a problem. I've been soldering for years though, every single day for like 5 years, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But it's not fun because they're so tiny and so close together, you know. It's not easy. So this is the GEPRC 12 amp flight controller, and you can see the pads, they're pretty much, let me see if they're exactly the same. They're actually a little bit bigger, not a lot, but a tiny bit bigger. But that's what I thought, because I've never pulled the plugs off before, so I thought that that was the size. I thought it was pretty much the same size as the Crazy Bee, so I wasn't going to recommend to anybody else to pull the motor plugs off and direct solder, because it's not easy. You can mess the board up, and then I didn't want to be blamed for that, you know. So I am building this for myself, so of course I pulled the plugs off, because I'm not using motors that have plugs. I'm using the AMAX 1103 7500 kV motors. They don't have plugs. I thought about soldering plugs on, but I was like, no, it's going to be much better to direct solder. So I pulled the plugs off of the GEP RC flight controller, and I was pleasantly surprised, because look how big those pads are. They're huge. They're right here. I mean, look at that. Plenty of pad to solder to. It's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 millimeters long, and maybe 2 millimeters wide for each pad. So yeah, they're really big, nice big pads. The only problem is that it's on the bottom. It looks like they're the same on the top, but you still have the little pin stuck in there, so it's not going to be as easy to solder to on the top. So what I figured on doing is, and this is going to make it very easy to do. By the way, let me show you. Since I pulled the plugs off, look how easily the flight controller just sets in there, and it doesn't have anything sticking out on the bottom side. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to use these M2 nuts because these capacitors are in the way, but that's okay, because I'll just use, yeah, that's not going to fit. I'll just use it's everywhere except for the front. The front's the only part that doesn't fit. I guess I could keep all the other three on, and just for the front use a little rubber grommet. Like, these actually come with the GEPRC flight controller, so I could just use that instead. Not a big deal. But yeah, like I'm saying, there's nothing sticking out on the bottom side of the flight controller. It's just flat all the way across, pretty much. So it's just going to go in there nice and smooth. You got the USB sticking out the bottom, if I can get it to go in there, just like that. It's going to be a little bit higher up, so it'll only be sticking out a little bit, but it'll be totally fine, because, you know, once I put the battery pad down, the battery will go right over the top of it, so it'll actually protect it as well. But what I'm gonna do is, or what I already did, I took one motor, I screwed it down, I measured out about where I would be soldering it if I was gonna solder it on the top. I cut the wire, and then I cut the other 3 motors the same length, and then I took the motor back off, and now all I have to do is flip it over, solder all 4 motors on, and then just take the whole thing, flip it back over, and stick it on the frame. So very simple, and it's just going to be so easy to solder to this. Let me show you real quick. I've never done this before until now, so let's just see how easy it is. I'll just do like 1 motor or something, but I'll tin them up. So you definitely want to tin all the pads first. They are pretty close together, but they're really long, so that's good. I wish I could like zoom in or something for you guys, but yep, they take solder very easily. Looks good. So now we'll just solder one up. Using tweezers is really nice. I use these all day, every day. So we'll go with 1 here. Just make sure everything's tinned. I already tinned the motor wires. Then I tin the pads. Then you want to kind of push the wire down at an angle, so when you go to set it down, it's kind of pushing into the pad. Shouldn't be on there for more than 1 second at the most. That doesn't look very good. There we go. And that's it. Quick and easy. So there's 1 motor done. And like I'm saying, when I'm done, I'm just gonna flip it over, stick it on. I made the length to where there was a little bit extra, so I'm gonna kind of wrap it around and push the wire up underneath like that, because I didn't want to cut them too short. I wanted to leave a little bit of excess, so it's just gonna hang out underneath the flight controller like that, just a little bit, and there we go. So yeah, it's gonna be really easy to do. So I guess I would recommend it for people that are pretty good at soldering. Yeah, so that's that. Another thing, this is, so I ordered the pickle V2. So they have 4 different versions of the pickle. There's 2 of the pickle V1s and 2 of the V2s. The V1 is the one that I have here, and it has tons of holes for all kinds of different motors. But I didn't mention in my pickle video that this does not fit any 080X or Happy Model 1102s. It does not fit those. So when you order the pickle, you want to make sure that you get, if you're going to use 0803s or Happy Model 1102s, you're going to want the one that says 1102, 0803. And you would think by seeing that it says 1102, you're like, oh, okay, it'll fit any 1102, 1103, 1104, whatever, you know, like the 12 or 9x9 pattern. That's not the case. When they say 1102, they only mean the Happy Model 1102s. So if you click on the pickle, and then it has all those extra things you can get. You can add like a camera, VTX, receiver, motors. If you click on the drop down for the motors, the only option that'll be there is the Happy Models. And then if you go to the other type of pickle that they have, which is this one, and you click on the drop down for the motors, they'll only have like the SPC Maker 1103s, which have the 9x9 pattern. So you want to make sure you get the right one. This one here is the V2, and it's for Happy Model 1102s and 0803s. and you can see a big difference in the hole patterns. This only has the 3 hole, same as the Happy Model 1102s or any 0803 or 0802. This one does not fit the AMAX motors. It's really close, and if you're handy with tools or whatever, you know, you could very easily take a file like this and file out the hole, or a drill, whatever you want to use, because it's very close. The holes are like, they line up but only about halfway, so you'd have to go out maybe just a little bit, just a tiny bit, to make these fit. So you could use this to make these fit, and I think this frame is going to hold up better because it doesn't have as many holes right here, and it has more material all around. If I hold these up to each other, you can see that the bottom one sticks out right here, here, and here, and here. There's just more material. So, and this is the area where people were breaking the pickle, so I think that's why they made the V2. They made it beefier right here, so it wouldn't break as easy, and I could tell that this is going to be much more durable. Now, I have not ordered the V2 of this version that fits the AMAX and any 1103, so I'm not sure what the hole pattern is going to look like any different than this one. This is the V1, but I'm sure they probably left the same holes but just made it beefier like this one is. I'm guessing that's what they did, but I don't know for sure. So and then it comes with this canopy as well for the V2. I'm not sure which canopy comes with the V1. I haven't ordered the kit, because there's like a kit, or you can just get just the frame, and when I got this, I got just the frame, and it came with this and an EOS 2 cam mount, but not a canopy. So if you order the kit, this one came with this one. This is the V2 for 0803 1102 Happy models. This is the canopy you get, and it fits a EOS 2 or a Runcam Nano, and it's pretty cool. It was kind of smashed up because it just came in a bag, this bag, you know, and then inside of a bubble envelope, so obviously it was going to get smashed. But if you heat it up with a lighter, it'll kind of take its shape back again, so it looks good now. I like that it has antenna tubes just like the one from Pyro Drone, but it also has this up here to be able to mount, I think this was for mounting a Crossfire antenna, and then it also has this back here which I think holds like an axis or whatever. I mean, obviously the axis doesn't fit into this. I don't know why they made this circle thing, but I guess it would hold the antenna part of the antenna, the wire part of the antenna anyway. Kind of cool, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to use on mine yet. Probably this one, but this one's my favorite. These are really nice. Pretty much the same though, same design, so I don't know, we'll see. But that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about, I think, on this one that I'm doing for me. Like I said, GPRC 12 amp flight controller, AMAX 1103 7500 kV, RXSR. We have a Cricket Nano VTX with the micro axis, and the Runcam Nano 2. So I'll show that one when it's done. And that's all I got. Alright. It went together quite nice. It was very easy to, like I was saying, flip over the flight controller after you break the plugs off, and just solder all 4 motors on, flip it back over, stick it on the frame. It was no problem at all. You can see the wires there on each side. Very easy to do, and I really liked it. So after I did that, I started building it up, and I was like trying to make it to where I could have access to the USB on the top here. So I'm trying to move things around, and I'm like, wait a second, the USB is on the bottom now. I don't have to worry about that. So you can cover everything in here and not have to worry about it. you know, leaving space for the USB plug. So then I was thinking, also, if you do it this way, you could now use this type of canopy where it covers everything. Because I kept wondering, I got these and I was like, man, what am I gonna use these on? Well, actually, I take that back. There's plenty of other frames to use this on. The Airblade Cream Puff Light, it would work great on. There's a few other frames where the USB goes out the bottom if you're using a whoop style flight controller. So yeah, I got the RXSR in here. I pulled the plug off of that too and direct soldered it. I ran the smart port to the LED pad, so I'm going to soft serial that. And then everything else was, you know, just how you would normally run it. I got video in and out. In the back here, I got 5 volt and ground going to power the Cricket Nano. I have access to the bind button on the RXSR right here, and I have access to the button on the VTX right here. But I do have smart audio also running to T1. So yeah, I'll have my receiver on UART2, smart audio on UART1, and then smart port on soft serial. So yeah, it turned out pretty decent. Like I said before, also I had to swap out the M2 nut in the front here for just some the rubber grommet, like the ones that come with the GE PRC flight controller. Fits perfect up there. I thought that I was gonna need to cut it down, so I cut the top little piece off and stuck it on, and it wasn't good enough, so I stuck another piece on there. I don't know why I didn't stick the red one on. I stuck a black one on. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, the whole piece would be perfect for up front. And then if you're also using M2 nuts for the other 3, along with these little rubber O-rings. And then I didn't put anything on top to hold the flight controller down. No, I didn't put more M2 nuts. I just used the canopy to hold the flight controller down, which worked out pretty good. It's holding it nicely in place. It's a little bit loose, which is what I want for vibrations. And then the screws that I use were plenty long enough to go past through the canopy. You can see there how they're sticking out a little bit past the canopy. So I feel good about the screws holding the canopy on. It's on there really, really good. There's no way it's coming off. So yeah, I can get all the tilt that I want that the canopy allows. Plenty of room in the back here. I got the RXSR on this side and the Cricket Nano on this side, both flat against the flight controller. Yeah, USB right there. Put some UMA grip right here, and the battery will go right over that. This canopy is so perfect. It just, the camera sits inside of it like 1 to 2 millimeters. It's just perfect. I wanted to thank Max Porter for sending me a camera while I was waiting for the one to come from RunCam. You're awesome, dude. Thank you. I also wanted to thank somebody else. This guy got a hold of me the other day, and he said that he liked my videos and he wanted to send me some money because I didn't have a Patreon, which I'll never have a Patreon, just because I don't even have enough subscribers to even think about having somebody sending me money. I mean, it would be nice to be able to grow my channel and get better cameras and all that stuff, but I'm not going to be asking people for money. But yeah, this guy just wanted to send me some money because he liked my videos. I mean, that's awesome. So I'm trying to find, oh, his name was PK Stefan. And I believe he lives in the UK, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So thank you, PK Stefan. You're awesome, man. Another thing is, I really appreciate everybody who has used my affiliate links to buy products. Thank you so much for doing that. It puts a smile on my face every time I get that email that says you have a new reward, because it's just nice. I mean, if you're going to be buying quad parts, you know, and you don't mind using my links, why not? I mean, it doesn't hurt you in any way. It doesn't cost you anything or any more or anything like that, you know. So I appreciate you guys who are doing that. I try to leave the links. I only have it to 2 places. It's just Airblade, UAV, and Heli Nation. So Banggood got a hold of me and wanted me to do the same thing, but I was like, no thanks. So yeah, that's about all I got. The only other thing I'm going to do to this thing is, oh, now I guess I could show you the little web that I was talking about that I cut out. It's right there. So I just slice down like this, and then over here like it's a piece of pie, slice down, boom, pull it out, and now I can stick a piece of heat shrink on that. Alright, thanks for watching.